This isn't the way it was meant to be, you know. By now, we were supposed to be watching Karrion Kross turn the black and gold brand into his own private purgatory. But that apocalypse has been put on hold, whilst Karrion Kross puts his shoulder on ice. So, as we try and find the sides once again, where are we right now? Let's find out together. This is NXT Graded. Big Tank Energy gets us underway. It's Shotzi Blackheart facing the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai in a non-title match. Shirai swats away a handshake to get us underway. Io taking the lead over the plucky Blackheart with a diving moonsault outside of the ring. During the break, we see Io wearing down onto Shotzi. Shotzi rallies though, landing a shotgun dropkick and a bulldog, but the champion just keeps pushing back. Shotzi manages to weather a crossface. She misses a diving feint kick, and manages to fight back using a senton and a dragon suplex. Even locks in a cattle mutilation, nearly getting a submission victory before the crafty Shirai was able to wriggle away. Shotzi gets caught going up for a top rope cannonball senton. They end up fighting on the apron. It's there that Io Shirai drops Shotzi with a German suplex on the hardest part of the ring. Shotzi doesn't get back into the fight from this point in. Back in the ring she goes, and she eats a moonsault from Io Shirai for the 1, 2, 3. Io didn't quite get all of the moonsault on this. You see Io land with her stomach splatting onto the canvas, her legs crushing Shotzi's stomach in the process. That was just a slight shorter trajectory, but she got enough of it. After the match, they shake hands, and Shotzi intimates that she still wants a piece of the NXT Women's Championship. Oh, that's another story for another time. I'm giving our opening match an A-. Shotzi lost nothing in defeat here. In fact, I think this is the best Shotzi Blackheart has looked since she arrived in NXT. She really rose to the occasion on this one. And you know what? You're as good as your dance partner. Io Shirai was excellent in there with her as well. Really great way to start NXT this week. Denzel Dejanette is... Oh, whoa. No, not Dejanette. No. Desmond Troy is out now. New name and everything. New name, who dis? He's facing Tommaso Ciampa. Despite a bit of a flurry from Troy, Ciampa's in a foul mood and he is just kicking off. He hits that wheelbarrow flip, the one that he tried to break Jake Atlas's throat with a few weeks back, and then locks in Willow's bell, drops in for the 1, 2, 3. Quick, easy win for Tommaso Ciampa. After the match, Jake Atlas comes out, armed with a microphone. He says, "I'm not going to attack you from behind, Ciampa. That's not my style. I want to face you next week. You are currently top of the food chain, and it's my turn to eat." Cool words by Jake Atlas. Giving this whole segment, though, a C+. It was good. Wasn't great. Ciampa just did what he did. I'm glad that Ciampa is now involved in something. I was nervous that with Karrion Kross being away, we were just going to see Ciampa just sort of flounder. I guess we're going to see Ciampa give some of that star power to Jake Atlas going forward. So I'm sure that can create some good results. Black and white Finn Balor montage time. Balor reflects on the last couple of weeks of NXT. The Iron Man match followed by the sudden death match last week, becoming the NXT champion again, saying that this time it's different to the first time. Whereas before he needed the brand, now the brand needs him, and he has become the most important champion in all of wrestling. And they show shots of Volta, the NXT UK champion, Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion, Roman Reigns, the Universal champion, to hammer that point home. Finn Balor says, time for challengers to form a queue, but make sure that you look both ways when you cross the Prince. This was great. This was Finn Balor sort of setting out his stall by saying, look, I'm the NXT champion again, but the world is very different now. I like the turn of phrase that he used here, how, beforehand it was was Finn trying to push on through the leagues in NXT and into WWE, but now, like, they need him more than he needs them. Like, I like that turn of phrase. Austin Theory's out for an open challenge. He gets on the mic, giving himself charisma +1 in the process. He calls himself a future Hall of Famer, and he promises another go-around with Bronson Reed. But Bronson's not facing him tonight. It's Kushida who answers the challenge. No theme music, no video, no pyro, nothing. Just Kushida sort of marches quickly out to the ring and takes Austin Theory straight out of it before the bell even sounds. The story they tell on commentary during this match is we're getting a more intense Kushida. He seems a little bit more focused in this match. Austin Theory has a couple of flurries in this, but it's all about Kushida and his intense grappling style. Theory's one comeback pretty much seems to come to an end following a standing moonsault that he misses. They end up fighting outside the ring where Theory punches the ring post, and then Kushida takes him down with an armbar drop, back in the ring, locks in the hoverboard and gets the submission. And he doesn't let go of the submission immediately. He holds on a little bit longer than he should, and the referee admonishes him for it, and you see Kushida kind of looking just a little bit distant following this one. There's an intensity that he's trying to portray here. Giving this match a B-. I love some of the stuff these guys did. Kushida is an excellent wrestler. I didn't mark it all the way up to like a B+ because, I'll be honest, I'm not buying what commentary's selling. The idea that Kushida is like, this is the new intense Kushida. I don't see or feel that intensity from Kushida. Like, I know they're trying to get that across and they're doing little things to do that. I'm not buying it yet. I feel like we need to adjust the Kushida package a little bit more before we truly drink that in. The Garganos are in their spare room. See, the TV downstairs is broken, and that's the only way they can have a quiet night in watching the telly. Got Gargano on Curry's PC World on the laptop trying to buy a new big TV, whilst Candice is talking to the camera about Tegan Nox. They mentioned the Women's Battle Royal that's happening next week, and Candice says that she is going to win the Battle Royal and get her shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And Johnny Gargano's just fussing about buying a television, saying he's going to make Tegan Nox pay for it. And he says they're going to have to watch on a small TV as Crooked Teeth Thatcher takes on Bootleg Slash, which I thought was a really cool line. Later in the night, we have footage from Tegan Nox and presumably her spare room where she's got her games and stuff set up. And she basically just stakes her place as the winner of the Battle Royal next week. And she warns Io Shirai that things are different this time. It's a weird one with Tegan Nox. Like, the words she's saying are intense, a bit like the same thing with Kushida. Like, the words she's saying are intense, but I'm not really feeling them for some reason. They're not, for me, completely cutting through. Love Tegan Nox's work, but there's just something that isn't clicking. Breezango are defending the NXT Tag Team Championships next against Imperium. Breezango are out as the Fashion Police. The Fashion Police wearing tag team gold. Unthinkable a couple of years ago. This match sees Imperium rush to try and jump Breezango before the bell, akin to what Breezango did to them the other week. But Breezango get the upper hand very briefly until Tyler Breeze gets knocked off the apron. And then a good 65% of this match is Fandango just being worn down by Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner. They just hit everything onto Fandango, including that baseball slide drive-by drop kick combo they did, which I've decided I'm going to call, because we've got Barthel and Eichner, we've got Italy and Germany represented. We're going to call it European Parliament, because it's where Italy and Germany meet to kick off. They're going to call that European Parliament. You're welcome to it. Eventually, Fandango lands a lucky lariat, gets the tag to Tyler Breeze, who lights the place up, but Imperium quickly back in control. We see the fight spill to the outside of the ring where Fandango and Tyler Breeze start a fight back, but Dango, missing a diving leg drop, puts Imperium back in control again. They go back and forth and back and forth. Finish comes when we see Eichner and Barthel go for a European bomb onto Tyler Breeze. But Fandango hits a drop kick and Tyler Breeze manages a roll up and gets the cheeky 1, 2, 3, and they leg it with the tag team titles. This was a B+, a very long wind up for a really strong sort of final act in this particular match. They really just went for it in the final throws of this one. I'm enjoying Breezango as this veteran tag team in NXT, and Imperium, very much like with Shotzi in the opening match, they don't lose anything in defeat. They look really strong in competition here. Jessi Kamea teams with Xia Li here. Jessi Kamea's got like this handshake that only belongs to like evil queens in Disney movies. Come here, my pretty. But she's a babyface, go figure. Her and Xia Li taking on Team Kacy, Catanzaro and Kayden Carter. Some good flurries from Jessi and from Xia Li, but this is a showcase for Team Kacy. End of the match comes with a pump kick crucifix pinning combo from Kacy for the win. After the match, it's fist bumps to Jessi, Kamea from Kacy and Kacy. Xia Li's not having it though. She storms off looking quite upset with the whole situation. See, again, to come back to like the look of Jessi Kamea, I thought if anybody was going to play the spoiled angry baddie here, it should have been her with all this nonsense, but be that as it may. Giving it a C+, good enough stuff here. Some strong tag work from Kacy and Kayden. Fine, did the job. Intriguing stuff with Xia Li. Another tag match now. It's Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong taking on Drake Maverick and Killian Dain. Just before this match started, Killian Dain and Drake having a meeting backstage, and Dain's not coming. Dain doesn't want to fight. Dain doesn't want to have the tag match, so Drake goes out there on his own. It's a plucky performance by Drake Maverick. We know, don't we now, the formula for Drake Maverick. It is just have him as the underdog fighting from the very beneath. Like he is a 21st century Mikey Whipwreck. And he just gets beaten up by the Undisputed Era throughout this. Has a couple of plucky attempts to come back, goes for a double underdog and gets a backbreaker in the process. We keep cutting backstage where Killian Dain is having a lovely time watching Drake get beaten up until William Regal calls him over and absconds him for not supporting his tag partner. So Dain goes, all right, I'll go out. So Killian Dain heads out to the ring where Drake Maverick is just beaten into a pulp outside the ring. So Killian Dain picks up Drake, chucks him back in the ring and leaves. And then as he's walking away, Roderick Strong goes, yeah, you leave, you fat dork. To which Killian Dain's eyes bug out. He turns around and just clatters the Undisputed Era. The beating stops when we see Bobby Fish running with a chair and ghoul right into the guts of Killian Dain. The ref throws the whole match out. He swings again with the chair, but here's Drake Maverick to grab the chair off him and allow Killian Dain to send both members of the UE flying out of the ring. Drake's in the ring celebrating with his tag team partner. They won a match by DQ, but they won a match. Dain celebrates by lamping Drake Maverick and knocking him spark out. Giving this a B. It was more of an angle than a match, to be honest with you. It was more, let's focus on Drake being the sympathy hoovering good guy. Let's have Dain come in and be a powerhouse. And this is a unique way to build a tag team. I was worried for a little bit that this angle was just sort of floating along, not really going anywhere, but they've picked it up quite nicely. Jake Atlas is outside the arena talking about his match next week with Tommaso Ciampa when here comes naughty Ciampa attacking him from behind. Cue Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole stepping in to shoo Tommaso Ciampa away. And this kind of leads me to think that we're going to get some sort of civil war type situation in the Undisputed Era soon enough, where you've got Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly fighting for the good, and then you've got Bobby Fish and Roderick just being arseholes. I'm intrigued by this situation here. Also, 10 points if you spotted Steve Corino, former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, splitting these guys up. Nice. William Regal announces the Eliminator Gauntlet for next week to determine the new challenger to Finn Balor's NXT Championship. So what we have is a kind of Royal Rumble with pins. So 2 people start. After 4 minutes, another person will enter. You're eliminated by pinfall or submission. Last man standing wins. We don't know who's in it yet, but I like the concept. It's pretty cool. That's next week's main event, though. This week's main event, it is the North American Championship being defended for the first time by Damian Priest, and his opponent is Timothy Thatcher. Two very distinct styles here. I was intrigued to see how this one would go. Grapples to start. We see Thatcher land a double underhook suplex outside the ring to take advantage, and then all aboard the train to the joint manipulation station as Thatcher just wears down Damian Priest, working on his arm for the longest of times. Priest keeps trying to fight back into this, but Thatcher keeps finding a way just to take him back to the ground. Thatcher eventually chops the face of Damian Priest, and this wakes him up. He unloads on the champion with a stiff short clothesline and a jumping Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Thatcher then goes back to that arm. He is nothing but laser focused on just breaking that arm. He attempts to get the arm bar in, but Priest manages to fight out of it, and he keeps going for it, he keeps going for it. And we see Priest hit a springboard senton, or at least he goes to hit it, misses it completely, and we see him once again almost caught in that Fujiwara armbar. Thatcher is unrelenting here. Eventually he gets it locked in nice and tight, but Priest is such a tall boy, he can break it with his foot on the ropes. Priest pushes back with South of Heaven, that big sit-out choke slam for a near fall. One more attempt by Thatcher to lock in that Fujiwara armbar. He is relentless in this one, but Priest manages to roll through, land a big wheel kick, big spinning heel kick off the top rope, and then the reckoning for the 1, 2, 3 to close out our main event this evening. Priest standing tall over Timothy Thatcher. Main event was an A- for me. There was lots to love here. I was curious about the style clash that we would have going on, but I thought these two played off each other really well. Maybe too much. I mean, I'd say there was too much emphasis on going for the armbar near the end. You know, Timbo could be a bit more versatile. Felt a bit repetitive there, but be that as it may, really loved the chemistry that these guys had. Great first title defense for Damian Priest. And overall this week, NXT gets a B. Was it the best NXT ever? No. It felt like there was a few missing elements here. We had plans for NXT. You know, this was going to be the Karrion Kross era. This was going to be like just the end of days every Wednesday night, but that's not happening now. So there is an element of scrambling to kind of piece together some storylines. I feel like Tommaso Ciampa is a bit out in the wilderness, so like working with Jake Atlas is keeping him occupied for the time being. I feel like, you know, there's Damian Priest stood out this week, as did Shotzi Blackheart. Next week, I'm really excited for the big match to determine Finn Balor's new opponent, literally lining people up to have a shot at Finn. That should be a fun time next week. Stay safe. Love you, bye.